Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you again for a second part for decent to good movies of 2021 video. And like I said, this is part two for decent to good movies of 2021 video. So I'm going to continue where I left off, which is number 19, and let you know which number I'm going to get to and what my thoughts are on these movies. So let's dive into this next number for in my spot. So at number 19, sorry if I said in my spot, it sounded a little weird the way I said it. Number 19 is Reminiscence, the Hugh Jackman movie. It has Rebecca Ferguson in it. I believe Maggie Q. I believe so. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the acting list again. But pretty much, yeah, this was a good movie. I'm looking at my phone real quick. Um, Well, it was a decent movie, is what I should have said. It's not the best movie. No, Sandu Newton. It's not Maggie Q in it. My mistake. Got my acting names wrong. um, yeah, this wasn't a bad movie, but it was hard to follow it at the beginning of it because it seemed lazy and boring and a little bit of a confusing watch, I guess you could say. But it does get better towards the middle and towards the end of the movie. It gets much better, and I'm liking that it gets much better towards the end of the movie. So at number 19, I picked Reminiscence, the Hugh Jackman movie. Number 18 is The Last Duel. I just recently reviewed it almost over 2 weeks ago. And when I was reviewing it, I was going through this bad stomach virus, so I'm doing much better now. It was a freak thing that happened. But The Last Duel basically has Matt Damon in it, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, and a few other actors and actresses. Um, Apparently, Matt Damon's wife in the movie was raped by Adam Driver's character, and they go into different scenarios about who's guilty, who's not, and they want to do this duel thing or whatever. Matt Damon and Adam Driver have to duel each other towards the end of the movie, but there's a reason behind it at the beginning of the movie, which I just explained what it was. His wife gets raped in the movie, um, which is really fucked up, and yeah, and people were like, "Oh, we're gonna defend Adam Driver's character." In the movie, of course, not in real life. Uh, so pretty much, yeah. Uh, it was one of those kinds of movies. It wasn't a bad movie. It just was average at best. So at number 18, I picked The Last Duel. It was not a bad movie. Number 17 is Army of the Dead. Now, this was a solid movie. Um, there were some moments where wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. Pretty much, it's a zombie apocalypse in that world in the movie, and they pretty much have to go steal this thing called a vault or whatever, or go in this vault to get some kind of money or whatever. It's kind of a stupid concept, but the action scenes make it bearable to watch. So it's not too bad of a movie. It's not the best movie this year, but it's something we got through the year. So at number 17, I picked Army of the Dead. It does have Dave Bautista in it and a few other actors and actresses in the movie. Can't remember all their acting names, but oh, it'll probably come to mind eventually. Number 16 is Venom Let There Be Carnage. Now, this movie has kind of died down for me. Of I was kind of being overexcited when I reviewed it because I thought it was a better movie. It is a better movie than the first Venom. The first Venom was garbage, and I couldn't stand that movie. But that's just my opinion. The second one is so much better. Um, Pretty much Woody Harrelson plays Carnage, the person that Venom has to fight. Matt Hart or Tom Hardy's character, said Matt Hardy by mistake. Um, Tom Hardy's character has to fight Carnage in this movie, and it's a little bit of a short movie. It's not a very long movie, but it's enjoyable for the runtime. I know the first Venom was a little longer, but it wasn't that good. It was a disappointing movie from start to finish. But this one, the sequel, was much better. So at number 16, I picked Venom Let There Be Carnage. Number 15 is 8-Bit Christmas. I just recently reviewed this. It's an interesting Christmas movie. It's not the best Christmas movie, but it's something to enjoy for the holiday season. Neil Patrick Harris plays as his adult self of Jake Doyle in this movie, and the whole purpose of the movie is for him to be on a mission to go grab the new Nintendo system in 1988, the year 1988 in the movie he reminisces on. So yeah, 8-Bit Christmas was not a bad movie. He was telling his daughter about the story of how he got his Nintendo and all that, and he goes into explanation of these things that could potentially happen, and he does drag out the story quite a bit and keeps the suspense for later, saying, "Oh, I got the Nintendos by some other reason." Uh, so yeah. At number 15, I picked 8-Bit Christmas. It was not a bad movie. It was average. Number 14 is Spencer, the Kristen Stewart movie. I know it's not the best movie this year. It's an average movie. It has died down for me with how it played out and all that. And yes, Kristen Stewart's character is iffy, but I think she kind of sold it with her acting, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. But it wasn't a terrible movie. It was not a bad movie. It's just some of her acting in certain scenes can be a little cringy to watch. Then other scenes where it's like, okay, she didn't do so bad. So at number 14, I picked Spencer. I would go into much more explanation into it. She plays a character named Princess Diana, uh, and her husband Charles or whatever is like, uh, she found out he was cheating on her or something. I can't remember. It's quite a bit of drama with that movie scenario and what really happened and all that. It's based on true events, so yeah. At number 13 is Kate, the uh, Mary Winstead movie or whatever. I can't remember her full acting name, so you'll have to remind me in the comment section below. Pretty much, she gets infected by this disease or whatever that kills her on the inside. She drinks something and she gets poisoned or whatever, and she only has a certain amount of time to live and find out who did it to her. And she does eventually find out who really did it towards the end of the movie. Woody Harrelson's in this movie, and he didn't do so bad in the movie. But this is a movie on Netflix, but I quite enjoyed it a bit. The action scenes were pretty enjoyable, so yeah. At number 13, I picked Kate. Number 12 is Don't Breathe 2. Now, this wasn't a bad movie. Some of the choices some of the characters make in this movie are okay, but the script alone, he's like protecting this girl or whatever. That's her parents are pretty much pieces of shit, and yeah, he has to protect her, and yeah, it's one of those violent action movies, I guess you could say. So it's not a bad movie, but it could have done a little bit better. But it made it at my number 12 spot, so it's not a bad spot to be at, but it's an alright movie. So at number 12, I picked Don't Breathe 2. He's a blind man that, uh, if you breathe or make any sound, he'll hear you and come after you. If you've seen the first one's pretty fucking intense and not a bad movie. It was pretty good. The second one is a little bit of a disappointment, but not a terrible one. So, yeah. Number 11 is Friends the Reunion. It's pretty much like an interview movie, but unfortunately, motherfucking James Corden was interviewing them. And then he mentions in a little tweet or whatever, he's like, I almost killed the friends of Cass. Oops. I'm like, you're an idiot, man. Uh, I don't really like James Corden, honestly. He's kind of annoying. Uh, and he's just, his acting is even bad too. So yeah. The Friends the Reunion movie was not a bad movie. It made it at my number 11 spot, so almost in the top 10, but it didn't make it in the top 10, unfortunately. So at number 11, I picked Friends the Reunion. Number 10 is The White Tiger. Uh, this was a pretty good, it was a good movie, I should say. Um, there were some interesting moments in the movie. It does drag out for a while, but for what this movie was going for, it wasn't bad. It's an Indian movie, I guess you could say. I don't know how to describe it the way I can, but it's a thrillerish kind of, uh, it's pretty much thrillerish and some violent scenes in the movie and all that. And it basically reflects on this guy or whatever in the movie who's finds out that the person that was driving the car runs over someone, and it's pretty fucked up. And they cover it up by not going to the police about it. So yeah. Uh, and Nick Jonas's wife Priyanka Chopra was in this movie. Sorry for pausing the video, guys. My mom was calling me for a moment. But yeah, the White Tiger made it at number 10. So yeah, that's going to be it for part 2 of Decent to Good Movies of 2021 video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that I paused the video closer to the end of the video, but I just had something to do for a moment. Because my mom was talking to me about something. And if you overheard her saying Brian and all that, I was having to pause the video for a moment. So, yeah, I'll come at you for part 3 sometime tonight for the next 9 movies that I'm going to talk about in the top 10. That are in the top 10. So I hope you enjoyed this Decent to Good Movies of 2021 Part 2 video. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. Stay safe. Take care, guys. And as always, I will see you in Part 3 tonight for Decent to Good Movies of 2021 video.